max subs as good as it could have.
Here's there's a different hierarchy.
Decider putting those jabs in. Yeah.
This is what I was trying to explain.
Network crash for 8 hours.
Yeah, it crashed while I was trying to watch it. But you have different hierarchies here. Like you have, like Jarbo was saying, yeah, you have DC Films, you have Amani, you have those guys there. But those guys are not going to be able to interpret streaming data. That's why there is two different divisions. Those two divisions have two different needs.
You're telling me no? Hold on. You're like interpreting streaming data is not that difficult. It's if it's all about time watched.
If you don't have a stake in that game, why would WB Films care about the streaming data?
Because they're all part of the same company.
Yeah. Okay. Did you just seriously say that?
They are literally. What is the parent company?
Part of the same company.
The parent company is Warner Media. The parent company is Warner Media.
Do they act like they are part of it? Have they, in this entire time, acted like they are part of the same company?
Well, no, clearly Warner Brothers has not acted, but we're also because that was a separate deal. So, but we're talking about
to this day they haven't. They have never acted like they are part of the same company. There's like a civil war going on right under their area.
There's really not a civil war going on. Everyone seems like they're on the same page. It's only the fans that are demanding more.
You were looking at a different book then. I'll just have
I read the trades every day, and so far all I see are people in the fandom that are freaking out over a retweet and a trailer.
I'm not one of those guys.
No, I'm not saying it's you, William. I'm not saying it's you.
They are not on the same. That company is a multi-headed monster that is going in.
Keelar hasn't said a word. That's how I know. Keelar hasn't said a word.
That's exactly.
No. It's been over a month. It's literally been 5 weeks or 6 weeks almost now.
And he can take 5 more weeks, and it's not going to make.
If they cared, they would be talking about it. They'd be saying something about it. They would tout the numbers, even if
people keep it close to the vest. Not everybody has to blab everything.
That is moving the goalposts, man. That's just moving the goalpost. Yes, it is.
You just said they're acting like they're in the same company. Because
they've all been lockstep in line. They've all been lockstep in line with the same thing. They clearly don't want to work with the fandom anymore. They don't want to continue down this path. They've been ultimately
making assumptions, but I'm not going to.
I'm looking at this with like crystal clear vision. It's not that difficult to see. It's not that difficult to see. Wonder Woman came out. They were immediately talking about the numbers. Godzilla, Mortal Kombat, all talking about the numbers.
Those are all Warner Brothers movies that were meant to be on a big screen. We're talking about an entirely different division.
So what you're saying then? So just to go back to your point about how Warner Brothers Pictures wouldn't understand streaming data.
No,
they were able. So, but hold on, let me finish because that's what you said. You said that.
Mean anything to them.
But they came out and they touted the numbers. They clearly, the company came out and touted the numbers.
They touted
for those
not from something that was exclusively released on a streaming program. No,
but they talked about
their stuff, which made my point that these are two different companies acting like separate children.
What happened when Wonder Woman 84 came out? The Monday after.
Wonder Woman 84 was supposed to be on the big screen. That's apples. It's not even the same concept.
But they talked about the streaming numbers. They talked about the streaming numbers.
We're talking about something that's theirs. We're talking about a content that is exclusively streaming.
But your argument was that DC couldn't understand streaming data.
DC is not going to interpret that in the way that they need it. If I'm a streaming service,
but I just proved that they did. If
I'm a streaming service, what do box office numbers mean to me if I'm creating exclusive content?
But we're not talking about box office numbers. We're talking about
just to tell you that there's a divide there. There's different priorities there. If I'm running a streaming company, why would I care about box office numbers? Would I? No. Okay. They are not operating like a company in unison. I don't know what you're seeing. I can respect your opinion, but we're just saying something different there. I'm sorry.
What I'm saying is that when Wonder Woman 84 came out, that Monday, they talked about how many millions of people were watching. They talked about that. And then they also greenlit a sequel.
Yeah,
it wasn't based on the 100 million that it made internationally. It was based upon
their property. It is still a big screen property.
Yes.
If they could have, they would have put that on a big screen. They only mentioned those numbers because they had to, because that's where their big screen content had to be because of COVID.
And it also, but no, hold on. But this was also the first of its kind. So Warner Media put out a lot of information because they wanted to sell it to their shareholders. If the Snyder Cut,
it's not streaming.
Oh
It's
my
not
god,
streaming
it was
original content. Is Wonder Woman
Technically-
84 an original streaming content?
technically in the United
No,
States.
it
Yes,
is not.
technically in the
Where
United
was
States.
it meant to show? Where was it meant to be? What was it producing and
Oh
creating?
no, it
to
was
be?
definitely meant for theaters.
They were all day
Okay,
and
so
date
that's why Warner
releases.
Brothers is going to be involved in all that. They're going to promote their stuff no matter where it airs. But I'm talking about original content, something that is not.
You're blurring the lines here. You're so
I'm not.
blurring the lines. Yes,
I'm not.
because it's a concept. Hold on, the whole concept of day and date release on HBO Max is to bring subscribers to HBO Max. Then those numbers are important.
But those weren't. That's what. Not what those.
If I may, I'm just curious.
Produced.
Has HBO Max ever like given numbers or streaming data for like original content they've made? Like you can only watch on HBO Max. You can't go to a theater and watch it. Like Adventure Time, Distant Lands, for example. That's like the one that came off the top of my head. Or like, I'm just saying, have they ever said numbers for like HBO Max?
No, they
content?
generally haven't themselves put out numbers. And like I said, a streaming content creator is going to act differently than a big screen producer. And everything you do, none of those movies were meant when they first put the gavel down on these movies. Said we're creating Wonder Woman 84. We're creating those movies were originally meant to be on a big screen. And so all the people.
So was Borat 2. But Borat 2 was purchased by Amazon. All right. Again, you are trying to argue. I get the argument you're attempting to make, but
streaming.
But you are also overlooking what they have told us, or what they haven't told us. All right. If the idea
you're filling in the gaps there with stuff we don't know. You're assuming that's an assumption. You know that 100% for a fact.
I know that Borat 2 was made to go. Coming to America 2 was also supposed to go to theaters, and that went to Amazon.
Now we're moving to go post to nonsense.
No, I'm just telling you that there's movies that these streaming companies have purchased.
Nick Williams did point out that HBO Max did release numbers for the Nevers. The Nevers they did tout, and that's only you could watch on HBO Max and HBO. Yes, that is correct. Okay. I forgot about the Nevers.
The Nevers.
Yeah, they did talk about the numbers. That's right. It had the highest. It is on both. It's on HBO Max and HBO.
Okay, so we're talking about an exclusive streaming thing. So it's
not exclusively streaming. It's also on HBO.
No, Zack Snyder's Justice League was exclusive streaming on HBO Max. Did I miss something?
Yeah. Okay. On that one, yeah, you're right.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You're making comparisons to movies that were created for the big screen versus something, like I said, different priorities. My data is going to be interpreted way differently if my priority is content creation for my streaming service, all right, and vice versa.
So then, by your own admission, I should say by your own logic at that point, the Snyder Cut has failed because it didn't garner enough interest.
I'm not going to make an assumption about what numbers that
you're making lots of assumptions, though.
No, I'm not. I'm not making it because I don't know the numbers. None of us know the numbers for real. And the people who have those numbers that they're relevant to, they're going to give them to us when they're ready. But that's why I've said this over and over again. I don't give a rat's ass about all these other numbers that have come out because it's everybody's interpretation, but the people who actually have those numbers in front of them and that actually keep their job based on things that go on with streaming. So I don't care with these other good or bad. It doesn't matter. We don't know the numbers. And once again, how many times have I said it's not just the raw numbers, it's the associated content. It's the drifting content. Is like I said before, is Enosh watching Aquaman 2, or is he watching the cartoons? Is he watching the animation? When he came in and through Zack Snyder's Justice League, how much did he sprawl throughout the entire streaming service? Those numbers are not going to be relevant to Warner Brothers proper. That's all I'm saying. There's two different worlds.
Funnier.
No, and I'm not. Don't do that. I'm not like attacking him. I'm just trying to make a point that this is not a company that is operating like that. Whether they want you to think that or not, they are clearly not operating. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. For what it's worth, they are clearly not operating in that fashion. I'm sorry, but let somebody else talk. I've talked too much.
Yeah, I mean, Enosh, what do you think about that?
What?
What are we talking about?
Because as far as I understand from what me and Jarbo were talking about, Jarbo thinks it's done. Yeah. Like it's over. Is that?
Oh yeah, correct, it's dead. It's absolutely dead in the water. It's dead in the water.
No.
Yes, it is. No, yes, it is.
No,
I get it. Like that's your, I
not.
get your opinion on it. It's oh, dude, you can totally tell it's dead.
it's not dead.
It is dead.
It's not
After
dead.
today, yes. After today, it's dead. When they can now point to a targeted harassment campaign led by Snyder Cut leaders.
You're making it. Wait, hold on. Wait a second.
So hold on,
Matt. You're making a huge.
I'm not. I'm an
making
optics
it-
guy, and I've been. Hold on, I've been around. I'm not. I'm not a newbie.
You just saying I'm an optics guy doesn't make what you're saying
But
factual.
can I actually finish my point then?
Yeah, but I'm just saying you're making a huge assumption of like the impact that downvoting a video on YouTube.
Excuse me. You know what I went through 3 years ago. Out of anyone on this platform, I fully understand better than most people what that actually does, because I've researched it and I understand the metrics and what goes into it. What they are doing is under YouTube's new guidelines of being targeted harassment, because this is what YouTube is talking about when they start looking into the whole concept of hiding the dislike button to stop things like this from happening, because it is considered targeted harassment. And I'll explain. It's all algorithmically based. It's also based around the most important factor of your channel, which is average watch time. So if 15,000 people have not watched that trailer to downvote it, they come on in, they hit dislike, they leave, which then those keep ticking away at the average numbers. Once that goes down far enough, guess what? The trailer ends up being seen as bad by YouTube. So they don't recommend it. They don't share it. It happens enough times, it starts tanking the whole channel. And if you remember what happened in Ghostbusters 2016 when that first trailer dropped, it got massively downvoted and attacked as well.
But
And
who's doing this, Turbo?
You got a video.
Who's doing this? Yes.
You got a video right now that's been up for 14 hours. It's got 111,000 views. It's got 1.1 thousand upvotes and 15,000 downvotes on a channel that has 1.56 million subscribers. It's one video, man.
Yeah, but it can also, but it's a radiation
Who's
effect.
doing it though?
It's actually Snyder Cut fans are doing it, Tony, and they've been talking about it. And they were over on Vero, a guy by the name of Ohio Dave, and that's part of the image you showed, clipped out that and said downvote, downvote, downvote. And then Zack Snyder himself came in and said, cross the line. Now you take those two images together and you can interpret that Zack is probably not saying that you guys crossed the line by doing this, but really that Warner Brothers crossed the line by posting that trailer. And so then Warner's can use that as see, they are toxic. See, they don't want to work with us. Yesterday, they got mad at a retweet and they wanted to get cancel HBO Max trending. And many of the Snyder Cut fans did cancel HBO Max. And they openly talked about it and they all shared it and they celebrated it. So what they're doing is they're freaking out and they're acting a fool, which is then going to be used by the company to further push away from restoring the Snyderverse.
Real quick, Zentech. I want to say a shout out to Zentech because he doesn't send in super chats usually. He usually just sends things directly to the PayPal because he wants the channel to have the benefit of the majority of it. So I appreciate that from Zentech. And so I just want to say thank you, Zentech. He had sent in a $15 donation to the PayPal. So thank you so much, Zentech. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Actually, I had a good point that Jeremy Harris brought up. I'm sure Matt would talk about this. So you know the Sonic movie, right? That first trailer when it came out got downvoted like really bad.
It did. Oh no, it did.
And
it
damaged
did.
the brand, but they decided, hey, let's listen to the fan criticism and change the movie and delay it and change the design of Sonic. Like
yeah, and that took a little bit of time to get there. Absolutely,
though, in some ways.
But no, this is not the same thing. This is not the same thing. This isn't the design of a character in a movie is terrible. Fix it. This is we don't like that you posted a trailer.